Hey everyone, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Today we're looking at the CELPIP writing task number 2. This is the email. I'm Scott from HZad Education, so thanks for joining us. First, let's get into the first writing task. There are 2 tasks in the writing section, and with CELPIP, you know you are doing this all online. So there's actually a lot of benefit to writing online. The first one is a writing of an email. So you're going to get a prompt like this one, and you have to write 150 to 200 words. The second writing task is a survey. Today we won't look at that, but wait for the next video. If we're doing 150 words to 200 words, I highly recommend that you stick towards the 200 side. So we're looking at 190 to 200 words. Normally, if we're looking at level 9 and 10, this is where people hover, 200 words. So do not go over 200 words. Please, this will not do you well. You will have a prompt like this. You are an elementary school teacher. There is a famous writer who lives near you. And then you want your message to include the following prompts: an introduction, why the children like this book, an invitation to the classroom, and what the writer can do with the children. It doesn't have to follow this order. It just has to include these prompts. Okay, the first thing I want you to do is think about your tone. Will this be informal or formal? Here's a quick tip. If you are speaking to your family members, informal. If you are speaking to anyone else outside of your family members, keep it formal. Maybe with the exception of a best friend, that can also be informal. So today, of course, we are looking at formal because there is a famous writer who lives near the school. You are taking the role of the teacher, inviting someone. Okay, before we start writing, this is our breakdown. Take a look. You will spend 2 to 3 minutes brainstorming. Use this time diligently. This is where you're asking, what is the question? Okay, so the question is inviting a famous writer. So make sure you fulfill the task. You must invite them. You must tell them what they can do with the children. You must tell them why the children like this book. Make sure to get all of those points. And coherence. So you're thinking about brainstorming your coherence. Is this an invitation email? Is this a email about just the students, or is it also about the writer? Number 2 is the outline. Next, spend 3 to 4 minutes with your outline. You can write this down on a piece of paper. Use shorthand so that you're writing quickly. 100% write an outline. Without an outline, your writing will be messy and not coherent. You want logical organization. We start with our introduction. What is the purpose? Usually in an email, the purpose is 1 or 2 sentences. You get into your main body paragraph. It can be 1 or 2 paragraphs, maybe 2 short paragraphs. So what is the main idea? You finish with a conclusion, and then also your final tag, like sincere or best regards. Okay. Next, we're looking still in the outline. I want you to have some supporting details. So make sure that you have some backup sentences. If you say the children liked your book, why did they like your book? And I'll show you the outline in just a minute. Make sure you have a thorough response. So that is task fulfillment. Similar to that, make sure it covers everything. In your writing time, you'll give yourself about 17 to 18 minutes, around there, because you should save some time for proofreading. While you are writing, make sure you have a suitable tone. We already talked about formal and informal, so suitable tone will match that. Also, write down some accurate vocabulary. Now, I actually sometimes include this in the outline, and you'll see this in a few minutes. When I write down my outline, I will also include maybe 4 or 5 vocabulary or vocabulary phrases that will boost my writing up a level. So if you add these to your outline, you will be sure to transfer them to your writing, and it gives you 2 times to verify, is this accurate vocabulary that I'm using? The last one is proofreading. Be sure to give yourself some time. Read the email once, Stop, maybe think about something else, go back, read it again. Take it from a different approach. Look at your grammar and your syntax. So, grammar, make sure that you're always working in the third person. I highly recommend. Third person would be something like, there was an interesting event at our last fun fair. If I use first person, I would say, I had an interesting time at the fun fair. So we want to avoid using first person, me, we, because this really brings down your level of writing. Students are often too quick to start every sentence with I. I would like to invite you to the party. I would like you to meet with the children. The children would like to meet you. So please move away from first person and use only third person writing. Now, just a note on correct spelling, because you're writing online, you will get corrected spelling. So you'll have that red squiggly line underneath. Don't rely on this. Make sure you know other words in English that are spelt the same but have different meanings. Think of the example weather. Either you're talking about weather, like sunshine, or whether or not you would like to do something. So make sure you know the differences, weather and weather, there and there, or words like patient and patient. So don't rely just on the spelling. Your instructor will make sure that they are reading thoroughly and they will catch these mistakes. I'm going to show you a quick outline on what I would do for this exact question. So follow it with me. It's the same question. You are an elementary school teacher, and there is a famous writer who lives near your school. This outline took me only a few minutes to write down, and I added more sentences to it so that you can understand my writing. So, my purpose is an intro to the class. This would be my very first line of my sentence, besides saying dear or hello. So, I would start it off with hello. Then you write your purpose. I created the name Edison Elementary School. You can make something else up. I said Edison Elementary School welcomes you to our our fair. So join our creative writing fair this Friday, May 12th. I added some dates in there just to give it a realistic tone. So we get into our main body paragraph, and you can see I've italicized some words I would like to use. The children have become engulfed in your nonfiction books. So I wanted to use the word engulfed. I think that will increase my writing. And nonfiction is my accurate vocabulary. Of course, we're talking about a writer. Is it a fictional writer or nonfiction writer? I would like to add that. Then I have my supporting reasons. So I think my supporting reasons will be a diverse character and imaginative. These are the reasons why the student liked their book. So it does play into vocabulary, but also supporting evidence. My second body paragraph, they will both be two small body paragraphs. This one will outline the time that the teacher or the writer can spend with the students. So the first one is telling them why the students liked it, and the second one is answering this question here, what the writer can do with the children. So my first sentence, my topic sentence of body paragraph 2, following the storytelling time, we invite you to use the classroom materials for create storyboards, build cooperative skills. You'll see that for each paragraph, I'm limiting myself to 2 supporting evidence. This is plenty. Now I have 4 supporting evidence for 2 paragraphs. That's a lot, and I will struggle to get that within 200 words. As I'm writing, I might need to delete one. Maybe I delete create storyboard. So I'm writing, and I realize that I've already gotten to 150 words. Well, I'm going to use only 1 supporting evidence for the second one. But at least I have all the information I need, and you can judge that as you write. Be sure to have a strong closing statement. It can be 1 sentence. For example, having an opportunity to meet an award-winning author like yourself would be a delight for the students. Maybe I could add more to that and say, sincerely, Scott. So again, I have some awesome vocabulary here. Award-winning author. Maybe even delight would be a good vocabulary to use. So now I have a perfect format that's going to get me a great mark on the writing task. I want you to use this outline and follow it. Write your purpose, your main points, and your closure. Add in your vocabulary, add in your supporting details. A good outline will set you up for a good writing task. So if this has been helpful for you and you're about to take the CELPIP's test, make sure that you follow and subscribe to the channel. We're going to post a lot more content, and I hope that you benefit from it. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in a while.